New intro music. Nice.
Yeah. I make songs.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I use that from last time. I used that one too.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. This is Handsome in the Dark.
Hi.
Pod stream. Mm-hmm. And I'm Saul.
I'm John.
Yeah. It's just me. Yeah. There's other people here, but, you know.
Oh, we were doing the like...
Let's do a rapid fire. Rapid fire. Saul, John.
Chris, yeah, hi.
Bruno.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we got that out of the way.
We got so
Fucked
much
it up.
material. Yeah, we fucked this up.
So
we
much
fucked
to
that up.
talk about.
Yeah.
Are we running it back?
Yeah. Well, can we? Yeah.
No going back. Only forward.
Only forward.
Only forward.
Let's move.
That's what the Spartans would have done.
Saul,
probably.
kick it off.
That's yeah. What do we have? What
How was your week?
My week.
What's up with Saul?
Yeah, it's fine. You know, life is just okay. Yeah, it was my week. I don't even remember. That's what really is going on right now. Is I don't remember my week that much.
Cool.
Well, we had Truth and Reconciliation Day. That was like a holiday, right?
That's a
For
new
s-
thing
for
Yeah.
some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the government, right? If you're
I think if
civil,
a federal employee,
and also I know the provincial employees were off.
was it a day off school? I should have looked at. I didn't have my daughter. This
was.
week. Yeah,
For
Oh,
my
was it?
kids.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see Trudeau in Tofino?
I heard
see
about
him,
that.
though.
He went
I
to
heard about
surf,
He was supposed to be in Ottawa for meetings that day, and then
but instead he went surfing.
some reporters found his jet on the flight tracker radar system or whatever. It's an app you can get. And saw his jet fly over to Tofino, land at the Tofino airport, at which
Yeah.
point they sent a team of reporters to the beach to find him on the beach because they knew where he'd be on the beach. And
Investigative reporting, eh? They're just on the computer
like, sir, it's
watching
Truth
planes.
and Reconciliation Day. What are you doing here? And he's like, I'm just walking on the beach.
Reconciling my need for some sick waves.
Yeah, I mean,
With the truth.
I don't know
Nar,
why they
nar.
were. I don't know why you have to send the media like after him. I don't know.
He's like, how did you find me?
It seems like a fucking major lapse in security to be able to find his jet.
Yeah, they should-
It's Canada. We live in Canada,
That
though.
should be top secret.
Oh, I
shouldn't
just
it?
found him. Oh, hey, he's walking on the beach.
They're
It's
like, no
oh,
one's going to
okay.
assassinate.
I don't know. There's many
Canadian
things
man.
about that
Yeah.
story that stinks in my mind, but what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
What stinks in your mind? You should get that checked out.
Yeah, we're here to talk about it.
No, like, well, any leader would have like his team that would advise him on a good decision or a bad decision. Whatever he decides, they would school him. And like either one, he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyways. It might be bad optics if I get caught, but fuck it." Or we're like, "Yeah, go for it. It'll be fine."
It makes
And
it
he got
seem like
caught.
the whole Truth and Reconciliation Day was just a ruse for him to go surfing. You know?
It does feel like that for him. Yeah. I find it's like
and then he had decoy meetings on his docket, right? Like he was supposed to be in meetings officially. It's like they were
Right.
decoy meetings to throw off the scent. If only they would have remembered about the plane tracking.
yeah. It seems like a new trend of politicians tend to, when they're needed to be in office the most, they go on vacation. It's
Yeah,
happening a lot
they
more.
can't not do it.
They have to.
Apparently.
They've always done it. They've always.
It's a long-standing tradition. I believe it's
yeah.
been going on for maybe not a century, but half a century.
It's like two things that have been going on with the government. One, they take vacations when it looks the most bad for them, and two, they vote themselves raises when other
Bonuses.
people when other people have gone on strike for the same reason, like for wanting to get raises, like,
Right.
They,
Or
they do
they'll
the same. Like
vote
it's-
for austerity, but give themselves a raise.
Bonus time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
that
cushy
those
gig.
two things always happen.
Also, though, you know, it's probably a really stressful job where you're generally working like 10 to 12 hours a day, and so they need some vacations. They'll just put that out there on the other side of the fence too.
That's too fair.
Also,
We're not about level-headedness here.
like
Yeah.
Chris said, it is a cushy job, and we also might be thinking about trying to get some of those seats ourselves.
Yeah, let's
the
run.
Smokers Party of Canada.
Do we have
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking about the patriarchy party of Canada. Like, bring back the patriarchy. It's good. The women aren't going to have to work. Cushy sit-at-home stuff for the ladies. Woo!
No, yeah, but I'd rather maybe I'd like her to work and me to be at home.
That's patriarchy too,
Yeah.
man. It's
No.
whatever you want it to be.
Every woman
That's
gets
patriarchy.
You want it to be.
You're
'cause
in
a
charge.
man.
That's what.
You're in charge, buddy.
That's how feminists use
but
it.
every
It's whatever you
woman,
want it to be.
Yeah. Every woman gets a new stove. Right? That's part of the platform. Every woman gets a new stove.
Yeah, a new microwave oven.
Yes.
Vanna White's like,
We buy it.
ding.
Yeah.
A bird shit on me today. So
No way.
yeah, is that lucky?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's considered lucky.
It was
I don't know.
warm to the touch. I didn't enjoy that.
Well, that isn't that you last time that you were here, you were talking about birds.
A bird shat
shitting in your eye.
in my eye once. This
Right.
time was on the shoulder, which
Yeah.
is a more reasonable place to be shit on. I think.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think also
Yeah.
maybe like the fact it was still warm when it hit you is
Was it
you
warm?
can gauge the seasons by this. The ancient people of this land did
Yeah.
that for a long time. Is if the poop hits you and it's cold, it means it's winter.
The first
Yeah.
feeling I had was concern that someone might have seen. And I was like,
Yeah.
like hopefully no one saw that. Like I was embarrassed.
It's socially untenable.
Yeah, like
It's-
that. Like
But you, yet
a
you
girl
can't
that was
wipe it
maybe
off
interested
either.
in me would have been like, oh, no, you know.
I don't
Yeah.
date guys that get shit on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It just
Who
says
would?
That's
something-
fair. It's very
Yeah.
fair.
It's like, this is a disturbing trend. I don't like that in my men. You know? like what else is going to happen?
Yeah, use a bitch.
Yeah.
Shit
Yeah,
on.
there's apparently a trend in anyone you date as a guy who got shit on multiple times now
What
Yeah.
by a bird.
does, what does that say about the women who are interested in
Yeah,
you?
what does it say about them?
They're
Yeah.
down with poopy stuff, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which could be good, maybe,
Scheisse. Yeah,
in certain regards.
maybe.
German
I-
Shiza.
In that regard,
Kind of
if you're into
We need
that.
to interview a German and ask if the poop rumors are true. It's like, you guys into that shit or what? Yeah.
We have German listeners.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Well, write in to us and let us know if you like to be pooped on or pooped on.
I actually
someone during
thought
sex.
our next band that we should write into. I don't know how the Red Rider Tom Cochran thing is going at this point.
It's moving slowly.
but moving very slowly. Why don't we open up more? Here's one: Ramstein. We have to go for Ramstein.
Well, that's not a
next.
bad idea, yeah.
I might write to Kim Mitchell.
That's a really good
Patio Lanterns.
I hate that song.
I love that song.
Yeah, that I didn't know. I thought it was like one of those universally like everybody fucking hates patio lanterns, and then I found out that song means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
big
no,
one of
that
those
song
songs.
Who is
changed my
gonna
life.
be?
No, I get I get the message. Like I do like the song, but I hate it right now because it's so overplayed.
I hate that's like one of my it's one of my least favorite songs.
like it's hit my saturation.
What
point,
don't you like about it?
it's sappy
For you, it's the
and
saturation
corny. I don't feel
Well,
like
but it's on the nose, right? It's like it's about 11-year-olds first kissing at a party in grade 5 or some shit, right?
yeah, okay, yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're
it's not
you're-
like-
yeah, you totally convinced me that objectively I like that song. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you better.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're right. I like that song. I don't know what I was thinking.
That's what this podcast is all about, by the way.
Yeah.
If you don't like a song, we'll force you to like it.
Yeah. You change hearts. and
Honestly,
minds.
I think I do like it a little bit more now. I think you kind of got me, and, you know.
I do that too sometimes. I don't like a movie or a song, and then I
Here's
talk
a-
to someone I like, and they're like, I love that song. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess I do too.
Here's a couple things. Like
It is pretty good.
In the first place, Eminem was one where I thought when I first heard Eminem when I was a kid, I was like, "Fuck this trash," And then one day someone cool said, you know what? Eminem's actually cool. And I was like,
Sold.
That's all it takes.
wow. So
Funny thing,
that's all it takes.
I listened to Eminem on my entire drive home on Friday night, and my drive home is fucking long. And I was like, yep, I finally get Eminem.
That happened recently?
Friday.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Because he's been outspoken about how he's not dope, and now you're saying the opposite. That's cool.
I don't like the shit he says about violence against women.
Oh,
I
yeah.
find it
I
to
know,
be
particularly like
way
those-
fucking overboard, way over the fucking top.
But
and
is it okay if he talks about violence against men, or is it just the women?
he doesn't really talk about violence against men.
That's
he talks
not
about beating
that's
the
not
shit
true.
out of dudes. He
A
talks
little
about-
bit, but it's pretty like
Talks about like
it's
using
like-
chainsaws to
it's like-
cut into their brains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but don't
no,
we,
yeah,
don't
I
we all
don't-
have those feelings against certain men, though?
He has
I
a
don't
lot of violence.
really like that part either. Like that's the thing about him. It's like I
That's
don't
fine.
really like that. Even though for him, me and Saul picked up a hitchhiker. I was driving up for one of our boys' trip, and we pick up this hitchhiker chick that was like kind of a hippie chick. She was pretty cool, really good vibe. And I was like, yeah, I don't really like Eminem because I find the violence against women like lines like pretty troubling. She's like, well,
She was
I
like,
think-
"What are you, a cuck?" Sorry.
No, she was like, I think maybe for him it's like cathartic to get that out of his system
The
because
hippie
he
chick
has
said this?
Yeah.
That's correct.
It was a
It's
shocking-
okay to laugh at cucks, by the way, because that's what makes them cucks, and
Chris
they
knows
like
all
it.
about that.
They like being
Hold on,
embarrassed.
hold on.
Sorry.
I want to hear
Sorry.
the rest of the
Sorry.
story.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
What the fuck was that supposed to mean, Bruno?
Sorry.
Well, I believe in an earlier podcast you related a story about how
Sorry, that was too aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm not implying you are, have been, or ever will be a cuck.
No, I don't think so.
Kind of seemed like you did.
I don't
No.
think I don't think that we have any cucks here.
No. Oh, good. Sure.
Yeah.
Kidding
I'm
me?
not. I just whatever. I just
Cucks?
like it when my girlfriend fucks other dudes and tells me how small my penis is. Like whatever. That doesn't make me a cuck.
Oh, that.
That's not a real statement.
I
That was
thought
just a joke.
for the longest time,
I'm
I
not
thought that
fact-checking,
was
by the way.
just something right wing people made up, and then I learned it's a real phenomenon.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a really interesting, weird thing to turn you on sexually, isn't it?
Yeah, like embarrassment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
does that
thing that
come
happened
from?
where that chick.
Now you know.
I remember.
Yeah.
I do know all about it. Sorry, B. I got aggressive with you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they really want to be embarrassed and put down, and it like turns them on. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
one,
I
the
don't really
1 inch
get it.
peepee guy. Yeah, I don't. That's hard to understand. But you know what? I'd like to talk to an evolutionary psychologist about that because they might have some interesting theories.
Oh, I would just talk to a cock about it.
That's even
Yeah.
better. Well, I'm the evolutionary psychologist. Might be a
We
cuck.
might be able to get one in here.
It's like 50-50.
Half the Evo psychs are cucks.
That's a bold statement. You heard it here first. Heard it her first. Oh man, this is high stakes fucking podcasting right
Yeah.
here.
You were telling a story about
Yeah, we did kind of derail you there,
about
bud.
the derailment of that woman we picked up.
The Eminem.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool experience because her thing was, she felt that for him it was like a cathartic thing to like get out negative feelings and emotions that he had.
So you're saying poetry might not be literal; it could be like figuratively talking about things that aren't actually real. That's and art in general isn't always describing real events.
Oh, come on, man. You don't gotta talk to me like I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, I don't know. You got your grade 12? Because that's in grade 12.
I find
fucking
it-
own, dude.
I had a hard time with that shit. But then when I listened to a bit of it, and it's like every album has the like Slim Shady track.
I
it
always
like
like
made
those
more
ones.
sense. It was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay, I get it a little bit more now. This is your like dark side that's coming out, and I understood it a little bit more. Took me a while to get Eminem. Kind of feel like I'm finally there. Feel like I'm finally there.
Yeah.
I also the like outrageous for the sake of outrageous thing is kind of like a movie that's like sad for the sake of being sad. It's like it's actually kind of easy to come up with the saddest concept you possibly can.
It's
and
like a
then
form
roll
of
with that.
porn,
It's like,
kind
oh,
of.
your parents died, and then your lover died, then your dog died. It's like, it's like that's kind of easy. But a movie that's like lighthearted but
Dog
still has
first,
drama, and it's like that is like a better for me. I find better writing. So when it's like outrageous for the sake of outrageous, it's like yeah, okay. Yeah, we can all say terrible things. I could say the worst thing ever. But it's like, is it great? Like, was it that creative? Like, not necessarily. right?
No, I agree, but he is definitely quite talented, and some of the things he says are quite creative and cool. But you know, when you're saying as many words as a prolific rapper does, I don't think they're all going to be gold.
I think that guy has a lot of words too. I think like the amount of words he has rapped is like some of the highest of any rapper.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, because he has a pretty good grasp on the dictionary.
I was listening to some early Kanye.
Excellent,
earlier,
excellent. Yeah.
And
How early? What Kanye?
before late wait, what was it? Late registration?
College dropout, late registration.
Yeah, college dropout.
Yeah.
I guess I was. But yeah, there's some rhymes in there. They're a little questionable, you know.
He's definitely a better producer than a rapper, but he does have the raw.
What he does, yeah.
Like it's extremely personal. He talks about how like in that album he talks about how like self-conscious he is, and that's why he has his chains and his nice clothes and all that shit, and why he spent so much money before he even had it. And it's like that really did change rap. Like the Chance the Rappers, the fucking Childish Gambino, like the guys that talk about like their feelings and shit. It's like that came from Kanye. Like there was a point where Kanye and 50 Cent were putting out an album at the same time. And they had a bet like who's gonna sell more albums, and it's like Kanye sold more albums, and that was like kind of the end of gangster rap.
Kanye
he's so
strikes me as a good songwriter.
yeah.
Oh, he's
He's a real artist.
the way
He's a genius.
if you take a deep dive into important music of like any genre, at one point you'll hear a song and be like, holy fuck, Kanye sampled that.
I just want to interrupt for all the listeners who are listening to this pre-recorded. If you fast forward like 20 minutes, Chris will be done talking about Kanye.
I didn't bring up Kanye. I just think that he's a fucking genius.
I had to throw some on today, you know. I had to say, like, I had to decide for myself today what is my favorite Kanye track.
Oof.
And it was between Heard Him Say, you know. I mean, it's a little mainstream, but
yeah,
you know,
that's it. But
what
it's
are
a
you gonna do?
lovely song.
Real Friends, maybe.
Yeah, Life of Pablo is an interesting album because it is going to be 20 minutes. Life of Pablo is an interesting album because it's like you can listen to it and it's like there's songs about God and there's songs about spirituality and his relationship.
He's been
with God.
talking about God since the absolute beginning.
Yeah, but that one he also talks about his dick gratuitously a lot. So it's like this battle between
What's the difference?
Like spirituality and ego, which Kanye clearly fucking struggles with. And it's like when you can hear that happening in the album, it's like fuck, this is a guy that's like he's me, like he's us. It's like he's struggling.
He's an everyman.
He's struggling between like being like a holy man and also just like his demons. And it's like you can hear when he's rapping, it's like, yeah, the words aren't necessarily that complicated, but he does write albums in like a hero's journey, like beginning, middle, and end kind of fucking way. And Life of Pablo to me is crazy underrated because of that.
Oh, yeah. Easily one of my favorite.
I think Life of Pablo is my favorite album because it's fucking weird and it's funny. It does have on display like how he is a fairly funny guy.
So you having trouble there?
Jesus Christ, John Page.
Looks like John wants to go Ed McMahon.
This is fucking next level. It's good to have it close to your face so you can get that breath really in the microphone.
All right. You got more?
That was Kanye talk.
Yeah. Well,
I really like Kanye.
It's been a while since I put Kanye on, and I gotta say, guys, like I recommend it to anyone. If you're not feeling great, it's like Esquivel. Just put it on, make you feel good.
There's a Kanye album.
Put on some Kanye.
Mood.
Put on some Esquivel, and we can talk about Esquivel too. By the way, which we have not done yet.
Bruno, could you run us through Esquivel and who he is?
Can we get
I'm not ready. I'm not. Yeah.
Can we get a rundown?
No, we put him on the spot.
Could you make a haiku about Esquivel?
I probably already have.
You've already made at least 17 haikus.
That's how many syllables are in a haiku.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I know. Esquivel, my favorite artist of all time. Came of age in the 30s in Mexico City. Went to school to become an electrical engineer, but Mexico City was fucking third world and ghetto at that time, so there wasn't much work in electrical engineering.
However, I think the education he received at the time was probably better than what kids today are receiving at his age.
Possibly.
Just
In
electric-
universities?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Go on.
Let's say yes and move on.
Okay, yeah, the TLDR version. So he was a self-taught pianist and musician. He liked the piano. He got a job scoring music for children's television and some radio programs. And
The Third Man, right?
I think that was later, but he ended up teaching himself to arrange for a full orchestral band. We're talking 40, 50-piece orchestra. Taught himself how to write. And, that's often you have to write differently for each instrument. It's pretty complicated. You go to school for that shit usually.
I didn't know he was self-taught. That's cool.
Yeah, and he was one of the pioneers in recording stereo music in the 50s.
Yeah.
His ideas originally were having two big bands at two different studios across the street and recording them both at the same time, playing the same score to get it in stereo.
I don't understand how you could possibly coordinate that.
Yeah,
It's hard
seems
to
wild.
imagine.
That was the engineering feat.
Yeah.
Because everything else they already knew how
He
to
did
do.
a bunch of crazy shit.
You
but
knew
yeah.
how to record one band. You
And
knew how to
hi-fi.
record two. But do you know how to record them across the street
Yeah.
in
Also,
stereo?
There's tracks where there's two
He
pianos
did. He made it happen. You can
playing
record,
a
you can
fraction
listen.
of a second after each other. And there's two different pianos.
That's definitely that. Yeah, that's the concept behind like stereo spread, right?
And he rose to success in America because his music was so fun and cartoonish and vibrant, vivacious.
I wish we could
Yeah.
More V words even.
put a little Esquivel into this podcast, but we'll probably get sued
Yeah, you can't do that.
by his children.
Yeah.
God bless them.
They hate him.
Yeah, all 72 of them.
They really don't like him.
I don't know how many kids he has, but he ended up getting a job backing up Frank Sinatra or opening up for Frank Sinatra in Vegas, residency job for a year, and made a couple $1 million. Blew it all on coke and fast cars and broads.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
as you would.
But then what happened is in the mid 60s, psychedelic rock became cool, right? That cool, that different kind of sound. And the idea of cartoonish big band music with people going, oh, and like,
Pow,
Yeah.
pow.
it suddenly didn't,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't cool. And so he just, there was no market for it anymore. So he went back to Mexico City
it's
and
like a bit of surfer
did children's
rock,
shows again.
yeah.
But then when he was in his 70s, in the 1980s, a new generation of audiophiles discovered some of his LPs, and it started gaining play, and he recorded another album and made a new fortune because people were like, this is amazing. And I've sort of heard of him in that wave shortly after that.
It's also, in another way to describe that is like, I've talked to people who grew up like in Mexico, and they're like, yeah, Esquivel.
Really? Because I work
They're
with
like-
a lot of
They're
Mexicans,
like,
and I always
he was on the radio all the time.
Really? I've never had a Mexican ever know Esquivel, and I've asked a bunch.
I've said the same thing and then had to remind them kind of like this song.
I played some Esquivel for a
'Cause
guy, a Mexican guy
I
at
feel
work
like
this week.
because I
Yeah.
okay, sure. It's just like I've come up to a Mexican dude and be like, it's like, Esquivel, and he's like, no, dude, get the fuck away from me. It's like,
We don't all know each other.
yeah.
Yeah, he's Mexican, Yeah. Yeah.
But then you're like, you play a song like, what is it? Begin the Big Wine? What is it?
Well, that's the other thing is that most of his tracks aren't originals. He does have some great originals, but mostly what he's known for is
That's
really creative arrangements of standard tunes.
Besame Mucho.
And also he wrote the music for the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like the original from like the 60s?
Do 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 do.
That's an Esquivel original?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What
There
the
you go.
fuck?
You heard it here on Handsome in the Dark. That's
What is
cool.
that? This is heartbreaking news.
Oh, hard breaking. I thought you said hard
I
breaking.
thought you said heartbreaking too.
This is no.
You'll be
'cause
okay, man.
I would
Yeah,
have said
it's gonna be fine.
I would have said this is heartbreaking news.
Yeah. No.
Heartbreaking
love the
news,
Esquivel.
baby.
Yeah, I love your guys'. You guys got a couple great Esquivel stories. Like one time at work, cranking the Esquivel.
People are like,
Some
hey,
Harvard
hey. Can you turn that up a little bit? Because and by the way, who is that?
Yeah, there.
Do
Hey!
do 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 do. Everyone's fucking Esquivel, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing it. It was like it was me and maybe you were in the vehicle and somebody else, and we were blasting it and driving. And then we looked over at a vehicle next to us, and they looked at us, and because the music is so ridiculous, they just burst out into laughter. For like we were at a red light, it lasted like 20 seconds. It was really funny.
I remember a time that you told me, that time that you were tile setting in a house, and you had the music playing from Esquivel, and I think there was a Russian fellow or a Czechoslovakian fellow that was like, "What is this beautiful music?"
Probably
that's playing?"
Polish.
Yeah. I think this fellow was Czech. I think you have that right. He was Czech. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I said before, people's minds are blown every time you put on some good Esquivel, and there's so many deep tracks.
Could you?
I'm still finding new ones.
For the listeners, could you slowly spell out Esquivel so they can
absolutely.
figure out how to find it?
Yeah. ESQUIVEL.
One more time.
Juan Garcia Esquivel.
Garcia.
ESQUIVEL. It's great. It's worth the listen. It'll enrich your life.
It's wild. Yeah. He was kind of like the Kanye of the 50s.
Yeah, really, he was.
You know?
If we can get away with playing a little bit of Esquivel
I think
here,
we could do 10 seconds. Let's do 10 seconds.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can. I think it's worth the risk.
but in post.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, that didn't have to be
Yeah,
said, but
I could splice it in.
He's so not into it.
Yeah, for sure. We can do it all in post. We'll get to it. There's a lot of times in the podcast that we do where like you're like splice it in here, and like I just most of the time I never do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I like
try.
it crusty,
Let's
man.
try.
I may get around to it. I care.
Yeah, you're like, no,
I don't think it's gonna work here.
No, I got
No, we won't
three
be
more
able to hear it in
songs.
our headphones.
I'll just play it on your phone and hold it up to the thing. It's fine.
Right.
Or it's fine.
That's way better. Actually,
You guys can't talk
Yeah.
about it for
fucking way better.
20 minutes and then
Yeah.
not
You
play
give them a little sample through the phone. They won't. That'll be fine.
Yeah. I like you guys.
In the meantime,
so that's what happened with Bruno's week. What happened with your week?
Are we still in the intro?
No, we fucked it up. We fucked it up.
This is
man.
the intro, is it not?
You were flailing, and somebody came in to save the
I had
day.
nothing.
At least been like, on to you, Chris. But whatever.
I didn't
you know.
remember my week. It was honest.
It doesn't have to be about your week necessarily.
Well, I was
It's just a
asked about my
check-in.
week.
Yeah, because you weren't saying anything.
Yeah, well, I'm tired. I drank a lot last night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was fun hanging out with our uncles.
we got crazy uncles.
Oh, what happened? What
Enjoy
happened?
them.
We got crazy Italian uncles. They came over. We had a fire last night.
Missed it.
Yeah,
Well, I wasn't invited.
Right.
true.
Yeah, that's true. But it was, yeah. Well, that's true.
Would you have come?
Seems like he would have. He's very choked that he didn't make it. He wasn't invited.
They believe there's a lot of conspiracy theories. Those guys believe, eh?
I only
Yeah,
got
they believe
invited.
stuff.
I only got invited because I live next door.
you know
and I
why?
saw
Because
John.
they use Facebook. By the way, that's the number
Yeah.
one website that propagates that shit.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's not like
Yeah, they're quite certain of their conspiracies.
What kind of conspiracies?
Okay, wait a second.
Oh, here's
Wait a second.
Esquivel.
that took a while, but
Surfboard. This is an original, this track. BT Dubs.
we can keep talking though. Like,
Oh, it's incredible. Even lo-fi through the microphone.
So who were the? What was going on with the conspiracies?
Oh, it was, it was the
Classics. All the
The
classics.
classic.
New World Order.
New World Order
The
stuff.
globalists.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, New World Order. They're all talking about it again. Joe Biden Justin Trudeau.
What they're using
Nancy
the phrase.
Pelosi.
Yeah,
they
do say it
started
a lot.
saying it again, like this week.
Is this about flat Earth?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is it?
I don't think so.
And
I
that
don't
was
know,
the
you tell
kind
me.
of thing that came up too.
No,
Like
I honestly, they're saying this is a chance. They said it again. They said this is a chance for us to go. This is a new world order.
do you
flat
think
Earth.
do you think it's communists?
Whatever.
kind of
I don't
new
know what
world
the
order is
new
it?
world order has ever meant. But why do they keep using that fucking phraseology?
You think by now they'd know?
Justin Trudeau,
Yeah.
Joe Biden is now on tape saying that in the last 2 weeks.
That's gonna freak them out.
This is the new world order.
It's not wise for them to use that language in these times.
Do you guys know what the real New World Order is? The Dewey Decimal System. Think about it.
Enlighten me.
I'll see myself.
We had a funny conversation though, where they were talking about that like all the elites get together in like Switzerland and they meet and they plan this stuff, and I was like, yeah, it would be like irresponsible if they didn't. They have
Yeah.
they have their fingers on the levers of power, and they're really like,
Yeah.
if they didn't coordinate, that'd be crazy.
What are you trying to say? They're not having meetings? Because
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they will.
I thought that too when I heard that. I was like, you know that they get together every year in this specific location.
Yeah, that's always. the
And they
thing, right?
talk, and you're like, is that weird? I don't think it is.
You know,
It's not.
I think that thinking that there is like elites pulling all the strings and everything is perfectly planned and everything like blah blah blah. It's like I think it's terribly optimistic. It's like no, the
That's-
world.
I agree,
The world
yeah.
is complete
That's a good point.
chaos.
Yeah. We're not that
100%.
competent.
That's
It's like you're gonna get a bunch of egomaniacs together and they're gonna decide what to do because that's not really how that works. Like a meeting is usually a waste of fucking time.
That
Think
kinda-
about-
but
think
I
about
wanted,
the,
I wanted this to make me feel better, though. This discussion that makes me feel worse.
But that's the implications of it, is that it's
That makes me
easier
feel
for
like-
us. We feel more secure if we believe there's real evil perpetrated by people that can be defeated than to just, consider that this is all chaos and what's happening is an organic
Yeah.
chemistry that can nary be stopped. Like all you can do is slightly, like you can't do much, right? Like that's much scarier. So it's more comforting to believe that there's evil people
that you can-
orchestrating.
that you can
I don't know. I
right?
actually feel more. I feel more comfort from the first thing you described.
from the chaos.
I do.
Pure chaos.
I do. Kind of.
Well, you're probably an entropic center, which is something a psychic once said to my friend.
I didn't understand that.
Is that psychic still alive?
Do you know what entropy is? It's a word that means how systems become more chaotic over time. Like
Right.
just
I've been hearing this word quite a bit lately.
so entropic just means has entropy.
I was trying to make a joke about how I didn't have my grade 12, but
Yeah, no, it was.
I also didn't know
was there.
what you meant. And I was hoping to just like breeze over that. But that's cool.
yeah.
You know. Yeah. Anyone have something? Because
Tyler, how was your week?
right, we're still in the intro.
No, we're.
We can move on.
Are we still in the intro?
Fine. No,
I got some
the
notes.
intro didn't work out, man.
Yeah, we just got into it. What about
didn't work out.
coyotes? We could talk about that.
Before we start about what Saul wants to talk about, could you give us how are coyotes doing, Bruno, in the world?
Well, the coyote.
The coyote.
As they prefer to be called.
They originally were contained to more specific habitats because they had to compete with wolves. But so did we. And we fucking owned those wolves and intentionally, called.
Damn right.
AKA killed most of the wolves because we didn't want them eating our sheep. We didn't want no wolf in wolf's clothing eating our
Yeah.
sheep in sheep's clothing. That's fucking bullshit. So we killed the wolves. Now coyotes are everywhere. And they're really scary if you're ever walking alone and then you hear like 40 coyotes all around you and you're like, okay, so I know I could take one coyote, but there's a numbers game happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all over. They've spread in the past 50, 80 years to every corner of North America, I think, except for Hawaii.
They're like one of the only animals
Which is
that's
not North
like
America.
absolutely thriving.
Yes. thriving.
I
And
said-
striving to thrive.
Striving to thrive.
Strive to thrive.
And we're in it.
Handsome in the dark.
thrive, boys.
So in Stanley Park, I'll set you up here.
Yeah, yeah,
Saul.
you
In
take it away.
Stanley
Yeah.
Park, there were people having picnics in the middle of the fucking day. And coyotes would come up and bite them. People were getting attacked in the middle of the fucking day
Wow.
by coyotes in Stanley Park. So, as a solution, it's like we need to call some of the coyotes in Stanley Park.
All of them.
Saul,
All
how
of
did
them.
that
I think it was
go?
all of them.
What did you see on the CBC?
On the CBC, they were covering a Save the Coyotes protest, right? it was a bunch of people.
Fucking
who were
white people.
we need to save these noble creatures. It was like
Coyotes are the rats of dogs.
they're the rats of dogs. We should probably call this episode "The Rats of Dogs."
But you know what's interesting? So
No, but
I took your daughter.
It would be
to the
really
beach,
hard to do
right in
that.
the summer to Point Grey there, Jericho Beach.
Yeah.
and it's just ridden, just infested with bunny rabbits. Like it's cute at first, and then you start to feel a little uneasy. And she was,
It's a numbers game.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
she was enthralled.
I could
It was
take
a
10 bunnies.
perfect thing to take your niece to, right? Just bunny rabbits everywhere. And I was like, how could this be?
142,000. That's a different story.
And I'd like to look into this, but my theory is that there must be no coyotes in Point Grey.
They
in
should
that
just
area.
move them over. Move them over.
Take the fucking
That's right. Why
coyotes
didn't they?
from Stanley Park, just put them at Jericho. Boom, you're
Who
done.
the fuck?
Right.
Do any of
That's
you
never
live
gone
in
wrong.
Vancouver?
No.
No one.
Oh, John does.
Yeah. Well, why don't you elect smarter people?
Oh, Vancouver's over.
I'm over.
Well,
it.
I don't
That's
even know
your
how to
fault.
answer that. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
You're a
You work
resident.
for the
You don't-
gov-
you don't know what you're
you work
talking
for
about.
the-
No, you need to elect smarter people.
Dude, I'm working on a house right now, and the builder put in a door that's slightly too narrow, and the building inspector is like, "Oh, it's got to be wheelchair accessible," and had his tape measure out, and we're like, "There's nobody in a wheelchair lives here." It was like, anyway, so you got to rip out the fucking wall and reframe a new door, and it's like,
Dude, we were doing a house.
Some narc ass shit.
We were-
it's some commie shit.
Now suddenly I like Milo Yiannopoulos. I don't know.
we were doing
He
a
was
house.
on point about that 10 years ago. Go on, Chris.
No, it's all good. It was about building codes. Who gives a shit? More.
Right, so back to the coyotes, maybe.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that they're doing fine. I think that they're thriving.
Yeah,
they're
they're
doing
fine.
fine.
Well,
Are
it's
they?
funny, it was
I
like-
thought they culled them.
Well, it was just funny because like now they like found out later there was reporting. It was like, well, people were feeding them, and it was like it was probably those protesters, those sympathetic coyote
Well, I also-
protesters are probably feeding them, trying to save them, pump them up.
I also heard maybe
Give
the
it-
people who camp in the park, like homeless people and stuff, they were
They're like these
living.
are our dogs.
They were like living. Yeah. Yes.
They're like these are part of our folk.
Do you know why they think
Exactly,
coyotes
that's-
reproduce so fast? Is because
Because they fuck like dogs.
like rabbits, ironically. But no, so you know how they're always shrieking into the night and calling? Well, they're doing roll call, and if you kill one coyote, take him out, pop pop. Then roll call that night, his voice or her voice. Hashtag all women are coyotes.
Well, yeah.
Wrong hashtag. You know, they miss the voice and it triggers the females to go into heat. So every time you take a coyote out, it induces sexual reproduction in
that's
the coyotes.
crazy.
What? Because there's a threat to the.
That's what I heard.
Fucking cool,
To the pack.
man.
Maybe I like coyotes now.
That's
cool.
cool. Save the coyotes. Coyote.
Coyote.
When I heard
Coyote.
they were killing coyotes, I was kind of like, good. I don't like coyotes. Fuck 'em.
Whoa,
Yeah, but
they're,
I don't-
They're doing okay. That's the thing. It's like we're not talking about fucking bald eagles and shit, which are
wolves.
also doing okay.
Yeah.
And wolves.
Well, I was looking at the CBC comment section. There was a lot of people like, those noble creatures, we need to save them. And I was kind of like, I want them dead.
I'm kind of more with the people who say, let's kill those who feed the animals, like
Right.
humans who, because that's really why the animals can't.
We can't have
coexist,
people
'cause, like,
feeding animals.
they're feeding them and they're trying to be their friends. Like I've seen it in the fucking suburban streets of near here where I live. We're on the outskirts of Vancouver.
Skunks,
It's
coyotes.
like people are fucking they're feeding the deer. They're trying to. One time I saw a fucking bitch trying to fucking feed a fucking bear. Fucking like
Somebody just got a $6,000 fine in
year old
Whistler.
woman, and it's like, I want the human to be eaten at that point.
Maybe
That's
the
where
human didn't
I'm
have a
coming-
choice. Maybe the human was trying to negotiate with the bear.
No, they're trying to get like some Instagram bullshit.
I don't know.
selfie
Did you have,
bullshit?
do you have proof?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
At the San Diego
our
Zoo,
trust.
did you guys hear this story? The
I saw with my own eyes.
bunch of onlookers at the San Diego Zoo were there, and then the two gorillas, they're looking at the gorillas, and one of them just started giving the other oral sex, and I saw a picture, just gorilla spread eagle, and the other one just going to town, and all these kids are like, "Oh, mommy, what's going on?" It was awesome. I was like, "That's awesome. You gorillas are awesome."
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
That's what they do.
Learn more of that one day at the zoo than 12 years going
Well,
to
they're on
school.
display all the time. Where are they going to go?
That's a good point.
Right?
I didn't know gorillas did oral sex, but kind of been fascinated by that. Like, how old is oral sex? Because it doesn't serve any purpose
Especially
evolutionarily.
like back in the
It
day, it
doesn't
would have been
serve any
stinky down there
purpose?
too.
Like evolutionarily, it serves a purpose.
It serves a purpose.
I would have killed myself
evolutionarily.
years ago. If the only reason I haven't is the chance that maybe I'll get a blowjob.
That's the only reason I ever go to work.
The only
or do
reason
anything.
it serves like it the only reason we value it is because you can't do it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's why we value it.
It's weird to think that you could just be gay and then have twice as many like potential people that could blow you.
Oh, you'd be bi at that point, right?
Yeah, there's no bi for
Well,
guys.
What?
Girls
No.
can be bi. With a guy, it's like you're either gay or you're straight. No, it's not true.
Is that,
That doesn't really double your.
is that part? Is that an official part of the dichotomy?
Is that your patriarchy party fucking platform?
Yeah,
bro?
that's right.
That's part of it.
That's part of the platform.
You're trying to blow Maxime out of the water with your
No, but I mean-
with your PPC.
What I said was false, obviously, but it does seem like there's more of a difference. But like, if a guy is bi, seems like a bigger step than a girl being bi these days. I don't know if it's always been like that, right?
Sure.
Like every girl is made out with a girl, and it's like tee hee hee. It's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
that happens a lot.
I've,
Yeah.
Every time
a
I've
guy-
kissed, every time I've kissed a guy, I've done it a few times. It's been like, whoa.
I've open mouth kissed everyone in this room except for John Page, and even that I'm iffy on.
Yeah. I didn't care
I'm
for
iffy on
that.
that too.
Have you not open mouth kissed John Page?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I've only kissed you, I think, here.
Yeah, gay.
Yeah, that's gay, right? That's not bi.
Yeah, well.
I kissed that guy at the beach that time. Remember that? It was like a romantic, pretty nice time. We were like hanging out. And me
was
and
he like
dude made out,
blonde
it
and
was just
hairless?
nice.
Kind of like he was a nice
No,
boy.
he was just. We were just having a nice time, and neither of us were gay or anything. We just made out on the beach, like
Yeah.
whatever.
No, I did that too. I kissed my Danish temporary roommate at an Air concert we were on E.
I remember that. It was a Cherry Blossom Girl.
Was
Yeah.
Right, Cherry
Yeah, it was
Blossom
Cherry
Girl.
Blossom Girl.
It had
Yeah.
to be that song.
And he just like, we went together, and then he just like, at one point, like kissed me, and I was like so flabbergasted. I was like what?
I would feel.
What are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a moment. I don't know. No big deal. And I was like, oh, fuck. Now he thinks I can't kiss. And then I grabbed him and gave him this big fucking good kiss.
Nice, man.
That's beautiful.
That's a beautiful moment. That's a romantic moment. And why
I
would
love
you?
that.
Why would you rob yourself of that? You know, that moment at the
Well, I
Air
wouldn't.
concert.
Clearly.
Yeah,
I'm
clearly
boasting
not.
about it.
Yeah,
You have been for
Brave.
years.
So brave.
brave.
So brave.
Oh, yeah.
Brave.
Well, we've talked about it. How many times we've kissed men or dead animals? What are
Have
gonna-
we?
What are we going to move on to now?
Hold on. Before we move on, I would. It would be great to kiss you. I've just never been inspired to kiss another man.
Kiss now.
I'm not. It's
Do
funny,
it
that's-
live on the
This
internet.
is the second time today I've brought this up. Like where I've not
Seems
been
like it's on your
inspired
mind.
to.
You never kissed a man?
Never kissed a man.
You've
no.
never kissed a man ever?
No.
Not even a little bit?
No.
Not even a... mwah.
Nope.
Not
That's
your
actually- that's
did your
surprising,
brother,
John. That's
did your
surprising.
brother ever get married?
It comes up.
Nope, never
What does
been
that have to
inspired.
do with it?
I don't know if my brother got married, I'd kiss him maybe on his wedding day. I'd
Like,
be
Is that a tradition?
you know, yeah.
you mean like a
In
Frank-
Albania.
You should know that. You guys are wops. Like you guys kiss each other all the time, right?
Yeah, but that's called like,
Actually, no, I
like
don't
a
think
French
we
kiss,
should.
or no, like what do you call it? There's a like it's a there's a name for that kind of
Never
kiss,
mind.
right? On the-
Edit that part
The
out.
cheek kiss?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the name is.
It's you kiss each other. You do. That part wasn't wrong.
We don't kiss each other.
Italian people kiss each other.
Oh, on the cheek?
Yeah,
That's in Italy. Those are Italians.
Yeah. We're
They
Canadian
do, and
Italians.
Yeah, but
That's why they got so
I
much
think
COVID.
but the point of this is that oh, for fuck's sakes. The point of this
It
is
probably
you
was
should
that.
bring it back a little bit. You got to kiss each other a little more.
a little more cheek kissing.
A little more kissing.
The patriarchy party supports this. That's going to be one of our platforms.
I feel
I'm
like,
about it.
yeah, I like my smokers party more, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
maybe we
ours
could
were
do
there.
maybe we could work together on a few
On a few major
initiatives.
issues. Major issues.
But
yeah.
we're not going to be the same party, but we're willing to work together for the votes,
There
right?
could be some overlap.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's the only way we're going to defeat the liberals.
Yeah.
I like the smokers party idea though.
I'm like,
If you
I
listen
know
to
it's-
the episode, it's
kind of
pretty
kind of a joke, but at the same time, I believe in everything I said. So it's like I think we should bring smoking.
You know,
back.
I mean, freedom never.
You go to the
tasted
ferry
so good,
terminal.
right? Or-
freedom.
Sometimes they're
Never
waiting
seemed so
2 hours
cool. What is-
for a ferry.
Whatever
right?
tobacco
And
tastes
then you're
like.
taking an hour and a half ferry ride, and then there's another half an hour before you're out. And they don't let you smoke, technically, anywhere for that whole time. They're basically asking smokers to not smoke for 5 hours. And that's too much to ask.
Yeah, you can have a spot for smoking.
Yeah, it feels personal, right? Like you could just let them smoke somewhere where no one can
people
smell it.
still
But it's
do-
like
people
what they
still
want to
do
do is like,
smoke,
no, you
though?
can't because you shouldn't. It's bad.
It's like I know it's bad. So is this alcohol or
People
whatever.
do still go out there to smoke, though. To be fair, like you
Yeah,
still can and do that. And
It makes you
everyone-
feel cooler too.
But it's like, who's a bigger dork than the fucking people who are fucking against that? Like, fuck. Like, what do we have a society?
People
full
don't
of
have a
people
problem
like
being
that? That's
uncool these
fucked
days.
up. I'm sitting inside the ferry in the cafeteria, and there's people smoking upstairs on the roof of the ship. They're smoking in the open air.
Yeah, that's Canada.
End it! End the smoking! On the top of the fucking ship in the open air on the sea.
Yeah, I know. There's
What the fuck are we doing?
There's a strong sea breeze, right? There's a strong ocean breeze.
The people who are sitting inside the ship have never gone outside the ship in their life are the ones who are making the decisions for
Yeah.
the smokers.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why the smoking party in Canada is a great idea.
Yeah, I remember once camping and Mikey's girlfriend was there and I was having a smoke and she was like, "Oh, that smoke is really bothering me." And I was like, "Well, what like the whole of the outside is all around." Like,
Yeah,
you know.
move a little bit, and
Yeah.
then you won't smell it.
Yeah.
Or also just shut up,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't feel like that's necessarily congruent with what the smokers party is about, because maybe the smokers party could be like, oh, I'll take a couple steps this way, because that's what we want. We
No.
just want to smoke a couple
No.
steps that way. We
No.
don't want to be smoking right
No.
in front of the entrance. We just want smoking areas.
No, we've already been
You know?
asked to take 8 steps that way. I'm not going to take another 2. Is this where the Smokers Party of Canada splits?
No, we need to have a little
into
referendum.
into 2 different new smokers parties?
Yeah, the new smokers party.
yeah, we've already. It's already splintering.
The smokers party.
I
of
feel like
Canada.
I've been pushed around enough. I'm not going to. I don't care about people who.
Oh yeah, I remember working at a job
I don't want
site
to move.
once.
I don't want to move a 1 meter.
And we were smoking outside,
Or
and the
did a job
woman
site
came
once.
out and she was like, "Look, this isn't like a smoking neighborhood, so can you guys go to the street?"
Yeah,
I was like-
yeah, I've been told that for sure.
Wow, it's you don't need to be treating me like I'm a leper.
Well,
Wait,
it's just-
hold on. When she said smoke on the street, were you not already smoking on the street?
Here's what
Clearly
I
not.
would say. I think
In the alley?
in that
No, I was smoking in the backyard.
I got 15 more minutes in me because.
We got 10 minutes left until it's an hour.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, that works
10
out.
minutes and 37 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, it was 10 minutes. 10 minutes and 26 seconds.
It's great material right there.
Nice.
Counting down the clock till we're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
That's
We're gonna
10
make
Great
it. We're gonna,
podcast material.
17.
we're
boys.
gonna make it to
16.
the end. We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Do you want? We could talk about the Mudvayne album a little bit. We had a
Nah.
request. We'll do it another time.
No, I was
We'll
just
do
joking.
it. We'll do it another.
I haven't listened to
could-
it myself.
We could talk about it. I
Yeah, well,
listened
it
to
was a request from somebody who does listen to the podcast.
half of our listenership. Half asked us to listen to this album. It
Well, I didn't listen to it
was
though.
one
Yeah.
guy. Oh, really? Because he sent it to the chat. I mean,
Oh, okay.
we all had the opportunity.
Are you not in the chat?
This is great material. Should I get back to the 941, 940? I mean, now that it's been brought up.
Right. Yeah. Well, I did bring it up, but we could also move on.
Yeah, let's move on. I feel like it was dinging. I feel like we're doing okay just spitballing too.
Yeah, we're spitballing.
It's been pretty fun. It's
spitballing.
been a pretty fun time.
Is there any good new music?
That's a good question, and I would say
Oh.
no.
Yeah, I don't hear any myself either.
Hip hop
like-
continues to put out.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe
there's
that's
not
true.
like
I don't know.
rock and roll is not as good.
The last good new thing I've heard, I think, is what you showed me was the "Cash Me Outside" girls rap,
Yeah, that
that was
song's fucking pretty tight.
and it's like 2 years old or whatever. It's like old.
Yeah, no, there's new rap albums coming out like every day that are good.
I heard a Logic song the other day that was pretty fucking
A
fast.
freshie.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that much Logic. I've heard a couple tracks. I like
Oh,
it.
cool. Yeah,
But I was like, bam.
yeah, yeah. Logic's cool.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Like there certainly is good music out there for us to listen to, right?
Well, I think Chris
Like-
actually makes a good point that there's a lot of freshness in hip hop, but what about rock and roll? Where are the white
yeah.
people at with their white music, right? Because I
We're
feel
not
like
doing well.
black music is
Billie
taking
Eilish.
off, right? But
Yeah,
where's the
black
white
music has been
at?
doing really well for like 20 years at least. You know, like hip hop has been strong.
60 years maybe.
Well, I mean, like at a certain point, hip hop overtook rock music and most pop music for popularity, like in the early 2000s.
Like right around when Kanye broke it big.
It was around then.
That's crazy.
It
Yeah,
was around
similar
then.
time
that's
period. For
crazy
sure.
how that happened.
You guys all seem to be like really adept with, like with Kanye stuff. I'm not.
I have no idea. I've barely listened.
I'm not familiar. I like Kanye, but I'm not at the level Chris is at with knowing his whole discography or anything. I like him when I hear him. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I think for me, it was like I remember people used to put on Kanye, and I would be like, "Ew, that's fucking Kanye. That's fucking gross."
Yeah.
And then I was listening to the radio a little bit, and Gold Digger came on. I was like,
Oh, that's a great
I was like,
track.
this song fucking
Yeah.
slaps.
Oh, that
Yeah,
song.
really
That's-
does.
I know
then
that
there was,
song.
And
That's
then
good.
there's like some songs,
But also thanks Ray Charles.
yeah.
But yeah, thanks Kanye.
But like, it was just like, and I was like, "Oh, that's a pretty good song." It's like, "I should check out Kanye." And then it was like, because he's like around in a lot of other songs too. Like he's worked with, for such an egomaniac, he's worked with so many artists. Like that Little Nas X song, "Industry Baby," is produced by Kanye West. That song that's like the biggest hip hop song on the
Oh, really?
radio, the one that's like in every fucking reel on Instagram. It's like Kanye West produced that. And it's like he's worked with fucking everybody, which is weird because you'd think with him being such a cocksucker that he'd be hard to work with, but apparently not.
No, he's a super nice guy.
So then I started listening to Kanye and I was like,
I
well,
met him.
this is a good album, and this is a good album,
But you-
and this is a good album.
You know when people talk about stars and they're like, I met him and he was just like a totally normal person. I don't think they'd say that about Kanye. He's not one of
That
those.
would
Yeah,
not
but
true, yeah.
but if I met him, I would.
You're on his level?
That would make sense.
Sidebar. I
Because
hate it when people
if someone
say
met
that.
me and said he was a totally normal person, you wouldn't trust them either.
I hate it when people say that. When they're like, they talk about an actor or some fucking star. or
When
an
I meet
athlete,
people
like,
who
I
have
met him,
you,
totally down to earth, normal
Yeah,
person. It's like,
yeah,
you don't get extra credit for being a normal person. We're all supposed to be.
You're all supposed to be normal.
Normal.
And like pleasant.
But
Usually.
a lot of famous people become less and less normal because the fragile human psychology isn't equipped to be, adored without
Yeah,
most of
fucks
us
them up.
losing our grounding.
I think that-
and that's why so many actors, like they have personal assistants and they literally
They abuse them.
throw fits because the latte's not, half fat or whatever. because they're just so used to being waited on, and that's the absolute power corrupts absolutely thing, right? Like your mind will adapt that that's normal,
Yeah.
and then you will become offended when it's not met, right? It's
Yeah.
weird.
That's what happened to Ellen, apparently.
Yeah,
Right?
I heard she's just a dragon lady.
Yeah. Which, a lot of people had a hard time
Disappointing.
accepting, right? Because
Yeah, and then there was like a thing where, some of
I
her
have-
staff were like said it was like a toxic work environment, and then she like did a whole apology thing.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was
it
really
was-
sad about it.
Like I have a hard
Yeah.
time like accepting that it's her fault entirely.
Yeah, but she would have like weird. she would have weird rules like no one in the studio can chew gum around me and shit like that. It's like I don't like it when people chew
but that
gum.
probably she probably wasn't like that like 10 years ago, but
Yeah.
like that's how it just
Oh yeah,
came
well
about.
that's part
the
of it.
whole point.
part of it, yeah.
That's what we're talking about here.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, she lost it.
We had an election in Canada. That was pretty cool.
Nothing happened.
It was
Nothing
the same
happened.
exact
Nothing
result
happened.
as last time.
Did you guys vote?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I don't really understand. It's like
I forgot.
so what? Like so we shouldn't have had an election. It's like we should have elections
Fuck that
every few years,
douchebag.
right?
Well, do you think? Well,
Like
I
I said,
Have
the
some
guys that
elections.
fucking took what his new holiday he invented, Truth and Reconciliation Day. What did he do? He spent it strolling on the beach with his family in Tofino.
I don't know. I'm not.
It's like
I
he
can't
made
say
up
I'm
a
not offended by it.
holiday for him to go and stroll around on the beach. He didn't do shit that day.
well, I do strongly feel
It's
that
a-
if what he wanted to
it's
do was
such
to help,
garbage.
the indigenous peoples, that
He didn't do shit.
Doing something that helps them would
Like
have
I
been
said,
better
the
than a
reporters
holiday.
that landed on the beach to interview him said, there's 2 residential schools right near here who invited you to come talk today. I mean, if you're in the area. And he just said nothing. He
Well, I
just
do
kept
got to say
walking.
though, if he was
He
on a
didn't-
vacation, obviously he wasn't going to be like, "Oh yeah, for sure, I'll
That's
stop doing what I'm doing and
that's
just talk at those schools."
That's
But I mean, the whole
That's
thing is stupid. I agree.
no,
with you in general.
actually, I'm coming around on that. I'm thinking,
But it's like
Soft
I
play.
hate the reporters as much as I hate him and his.
I think I'm
bullshit. I hate
over.
them all.
I'm
They're all
overrating.
garbage.
I'm overrating my expectations of what we should expect in a politician. Maybe, and like he's more of a gangster. It's like he's more like I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, bitch, right in your face. What are you gonna do about it? Right?
I think it's a scary time that I don't know how you guys feel, but like I feel like I can't even like
what he's doing, right?
I love the CBC and I still do in part, but like I can't listen to it anymore because
Rex Murphy's.
I
Been gone
don't
for
trust
years.
them to deliver me both sides of the story. Like
They just
they
stopped
do some
doing
good
it.
reporting on stuff, but like they'll filter their reporting because they want to present a certain angle that is looks positive or whatever, right? And it's a weird time when gradually everything that's supposed to be the news becomes less and less trusted. And I don't like that feeling.
Yeah, I don't like it either. And they turned off their comment sections because they didn't like
Yeah.
what people were saying, I guess, right? It was pretty shifty.
They don't like people to dissect, analyze. You're just supposed to think what they tell you.
And the recent circumstances have been the straw that have broken the camel's back in terms of demanding that only one side of a story ever be shown, because now there's a moral impetus to filter the information, whereas before, they always morally thought they should show both sides, even if they didn't. It was like you should, but now there's actual motivation not to show both sides.
No,
right?
before it was like there are no both sides. There's just what happened, and that was journalism before.
Yeah,
This
ideally.
this is
Yeah,
what happened.
ideally.
This
But
is-
there was
we're-
at least a
we're
facade that that's
reporting
what
on
they
the
were doing.
facts of what happened. But I have to say that I think that today Fox News is I'm not going to watch mainstream news. I don't watch Fox News, or any of them. But I do see a trend where Fox News actually does kind of do what you say. They look at something from both angles and they say that's dumb, and this is.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm sure that happens, but I feel like a lot of the time I tune in and it's pretty fucked.
Well, but it's.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't
enough.
happen. Like,
It's
I'm
a
sure
symptom of
there
the
are certainly
times.
clips I've seen where it's like, yeah, that was some decent reporting, but like a lot of it.
I feel
is
like
not
I feel
really.
like from all the mainstream news outlets these days, Fox is actually making the most sense to me, and
I don't
that's
disagree.
crazy.
I don't disagree with you.
and
but-
that's crazy.
But the reason
my
I think-
point is that's crazy.
Sure. But the reason that is because the side that isn't Fox News generally has a stranglehold on the information, which makes Fox News the place that challenges that narrative, because that's what they've always done. So I feel like Fox News often has been just pure bullshit. Like when the Republicans were in power,
Sure, it's been bullshit.
they were a bullshit machine.
Yeah,
but
it
now
switches whenever
Now
who's
that
in
there's
power,
a
right?
lot of not just like real authority in the government, but also cultural authority on the other side. Now Fox News has a purpose that seems a little bit more tangible, maybe, right?
It's
No one here's defending Fox News,
It's like-
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I mean-
anything you said about that could be said about the other ones, CNN, MSNBC.
I
Yeah,
don't
it
listen.
could
I
switch.
don't-
That's what I'm saying. Is it could switch?
But
it could
it's,
switch
it's
easily,
actually
right?
more. I think it's worth paying more attention to the CNN, MSNBC Democratic Party stranglehold on media and propaganda right now, because they do. There's like I saw some clip from some podcast or something like a week ago, and it was like tonight, and you wouldn't believe this, like every late night show had the same theme, and it was about climate change, and they all said the same words. And we've seen these videos where they
Yep.
it's like they show all these local news broadcasts, and all the reporters are saying the same thing.
Yeah, they say the
On-
exact,
they
they
like
say
on
the exact
Fox
same words.
News
They fill the
Network.
screen.
Yeah.
They just did this a week ago with Stephen Colbert, Trevor Noah, fucking Seth Meyers,
All the Jimmies,
all the Jimmies.
all the
Yeah.
James.
All the Jimmies.
Yeah.
Not Fallon, though, because that guy is still pure. And I will
Right.
back him up.
Is it? Yeah.
Back
I
up
will
Fallon.
back Fallon up.
If Kanye
He
was
doesn't
going
get
to
a
be
lot
on a
of
talk
support.
show, it would be Fallon.
I will
Nah,
back
he
Fallon
was on.
up.
He was on.
Conan?
No, the other one. The other
Fallon
thing.
is not
Jimmy?
a sellout. Fallon is not a political sellout.
I would still.
No, he's not. Fallon is not a political sellout.
He's not smart enough to.
No,
Like,
as
as much-
much
delve into
nothing
politics.
about his show is a political sellout thing.
Now as much.
This
hold on.
is all Colbert, mostly
Hold on.
Colbert drives this narrative. And go on, John.
What I was going to say is,
forget what I was going to say.
as
But
much
fine.
as you go on that tangent, just he's not infallible. He might be corruptible at some point.
Who, Fallon?
Yes, at some point.
The guy's the.
Come on.
He's the most talented
Come on,
late
it
night
happens to
talk
all of
show.
them. It happens to all
Fallon
of
is
them.
the late. He's the most talented.
But yeah, I mean, we'll give him
He
credit.
can sing. He can improv.
We'll give him credit. for
Fallon?
where he's come to this.
Fallon
point,
is
but-
underrated. Boys.
Is he? He's
He is underrated.
Show. He's
He's
super famous.
He did that movie with Queen Latifah that one
that's
time.
Chris, that's a good point. He
They're in
has
a
the
car.
number. Are you sure? He has the number one talk
It's
show.
pretty. I never hear anyone say anything bad about him. I don't feel like that's a
How
hot
could you
take.
say that's underrated?
But yeah, no,
Hot take. Hot take.
It's
I
funny.
like
It's
the
funny
guy
that
that
you brought
everybody
it up
likes.
because for the longest time, like I've followed Colbert. I've followed Colbert. I still like Colbert.
Colbert's he's a company man now. It's like,
yeah, like
do you
I
remember
said-
those old Bill Hicks
Yeah.
skits about Jay Leno, where he's the company man for NBC?
Yeah. No,
And
and
it's like-
I know what you're saying. Like what I still like Colbert, but like nowadays it's
He used to
like
be so good,
I see exactly where you're going.
and he's
It's
not even.
I think he's fallen from grace in a really.
he's
a-
kind of
really
fallen.
big way.
He's no Jon
kinda
Stewart.
fallen.
Yeah.
Colbert is at the.
But I still like him somehow.
Theater.
I still
Well,
like
you
him.
remember him from before.
So
I do.
Who
Yeah.
did he replace?
Was it David Letterman?
Yeah, and who was before Letterman? in that same studio?
Carson?
Yeah. Fuck, man. Isn't that so sad?
I like
Isn't
Craig
that
Ferguson.
so
Yeah, man,
fucking
he's
I
edgy.
watched
sad?
the old
that guy.
Craig Ferguson tapes. Now that was a talk show host.
Yeah, I enjoy him. Yeah.
Just no holds barred, said whatever. It was sweet.
I liked it when people just said whatever.
Yeah.
That was a thing that used to happen. Yeah.
It used to happen. It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. When you guys saw Jon Stewart on Colbert when he did his big thing
You mean
about
Colbert on Jon Stewart?
no
No, recently.
recently when Jon Stewart was on Colbert and he
sorry.
did the big
Fuck.
thing that was all over YouTube about
I'm stupid.
Oh, which he does this.
he was a
from time to
guest.
time.
and
Yeah,
he-
but he does it from time to time. Like what?
Yeah, he talked about whether or not the virus was from the lab, or if it was a lab leak,
right.
right? And his general take was like, "Duh."
Yeah.
Like maybe you
Yeah.
should look into that. And like, what do you think Colbert was ready for that and knew it was coming and playing along,
He was.
or do you think
it-
he was
It is.
blindsided?
It is confirmed that he was.
Right. That's interesting.
Absolutely
Because that's interesting
notified.
because that was very much against the narrative.
It looked like Colbert was trying to shut the conversation down as much as he possibly could, is what the optics looked like.
It's hard to say
He was
because I feel
trying
like
to
Well,
rein
it's-
it all in.
It's also it's a weird thing that didn't go anywhere though.
I feel like
That
those
didn't go anywhere. That whole thing didn't go.
well, I don't know about that. I mean, I thought that was a pretty major
did-
shift in the conversation about that as a possibility.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Did it shift the policy?
No.
Oh no, but like
Public
in
opinion,
the public opinion, yeah, it certainly people
Did-
started taking it seriously.
Does public
right at
opinion
that
shift
moment.
policy nowadays? Even help.
I don't know how to help you. Like those guys are thick as thieves. Those two are close. Like if it was like a thing that Jon Stewart did bring up off just off the cuff, Steven would try and try and save his ass. Maybe.
Also, they wouldn't
Colbert-
air it, I guess, if they didn't want to.
Here's
They
the
have
thing,
to
too.
air it.
And
It's not live.
Yeah.
I forget where I heard this, but it's a good breakdown. Kind of like back in the day when in the early aughts when we all watched Jon Stewart, The Daily Show, and fucking Chappelle's Show, and all this awesome shit that was coming out on Comedy Central and the Comedy Network. That shit was like low ratings. Like Jon Stewart was never big, ever, for years.
Oh, for a while. He got big, though.
It took a long time for him to even get close to the numbers of Leno, Letterman. You know what I'm saying? And then he did eventually start to breach into that. But
He made Comedy Central a lot of money.
but it's a fucking disaster now.
I gotta go.
Oh,
All right, yeah.
I have to.
is that your thing now? You leave in the middle of a podcast?
No, it's been over an hour.
No, I mean it's been over 3 podcasts where you did that.
Yes, then I wouldn't call this the middle of the podcast, but yes.
It's not the middle.
No, it's been over an hour.
Yeah, my lady's
I didn't want to cut
complaining
you
of.
guys off because I thought it was a
All
pretty
right,
cool
let's-
conversation. I
All
thought
right,
it was
we'll
pretty
see you
cool.
guys later.
We could come back
We
and
can,
do more. We can
and
take a break.
we
That's
cannot-
something that we do.
Yeah, this is usually where we do the break.
we can break if we need to break. Yeah, or unless we
We're not going to talk about O.J. Simpson.
No, I've heard bad reviews on that topic.
I've heard bad reviews on OJ.
All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we can come
Bye,
back.
guys.
I gotta go check on my lady.
If the poop hits you and it's cold, it means it's winter. Let's kill those who feed the animals.
I saw a picture, just gorilla spread eagle, and the other one just going to town, and all these kids are like, "Oh, mommy, what's going on?"